Shabbat Shalom, Mish. How we doing tonight? This video isn't going to be too long. I don't want any of my subscribers to ever think that I am teaching. I don't want you to think that this is a teaching. I see nothing good coming out of a man standing on a stage at a podium looking down on people in pews and preaching a sermon that is actually his opinion on what the scripture says. I feel like we ought to collectively learn together as a family, as a mishpachah, and find the answers within the scripture together, and not base our beliefs on another man's view of what the scripture says. We should be like the Bereans, right? So I'm making this because you could call it a coincidence, I guess, but I would say it's more like the Ruach leading us to truth. A couple days ago, a buddy of mine asked me what I thought the fruit was that Adam and Eve ate in the garden. And I told him, I'm not sure. I said, I've heard that it's sexual, something to do with sexual or sex. And I've heard a lot of different theories on that. And today I saw a couple different posts on Facebook where people were discussing that very topic. And I looked at some of the comments, and some of the comments were, people saying that it was a fruit, some kind of fruit, and this and that, and I've never heard anyone with the belief that it's what I'm about to propose to y'all. And like I said, this is not a teaching. I'm posing this question to y'all, my mishpachah whom I love, so that we, as a mish, can look into this to see if this is true, if it holds any weight at all. And the reason I'm doing so is because as I've been looking into this subject, I've seen the importance of knowing this truth. And I'm sure once y'all start to do your own research and digging into this, you'll see, like I do, the importance of knowing this. So in the Bible, in Genesis, I think it was chapter 3, where the serpent beguiles Eve, and Eve tells him that the Most High has commanded them not to eat of that fruit or touch it, because once they do, they would surely die. And what's the serpent say? He says, you will not surely die. The Most High knows that when you eat it, your eyes will become open and you will be as the Most High, right? Now, how could eating an apple or some grapes bring you into that state of mind, to where you will realize you're naked and you will think to be as a God, as a mighty one? I don't think it's possible. But what crossed my mind a couple nights ago, and what I believe to be the actual tree of knowledge of good and evil, and I think you will believe the same thing, is actually the Kabbalah tree. Now, in my research, I've learned that the Kabbalist, the school of mysticism, which we know, we've been warned about, we know that is the doctrine of demons that comes from Mystery Babylon, we know that we are not to fool with that, right? And that's not what this is. The reason I think that there is an importance to understand and to gain the knowledge of what that was, of what the Most High commanded Adam and Eve to not eat, what caused them to bring about a curse on mankind by eating. We need to know what that is, because if it's something that we are familiar with that is going on today, we need to know about it, just in case some of us might be flirting with it, with the idea. So if you look into the meaning or the teaching of the Kabbalah tree, you'll see that it talks about ascension into divinity. So let's go there real quick, shall we? I googled it, tree of life here. And in here, it talks about, well, they call it the tree of life. That's what they call it, you know. And let's see. Scholars believe that the concept of a tree of life with different spheres encompassing aspects of reality traces its origins back to Assyria. Now, I have seen where they say that it goes all the way back to Nimrod and Babylon. And you will see that the Egyptians use this doctrine, and that the school of mysticism, Mystery Babylon, has been with us the entire time. And I've read somewhere where it says that the doctrine and the teaching of the Kabbalah tree is the oldest known religion on earth. Okay, so this goes back to at least to Babylon that we can find, but my guess is that it goes all the way back to the garden, and if not beyond that. But look right here, it says a tree represents a series of divine emanations of God's creation itself, whatever that word is, the nature of revealed divinity, see, the human soul, and the spiritual path of ascent by man. Now you could see right there that the fruit of this teaching, not a fruit that you buy in the grocery store and you eat, but the fruit, like Yahusha said, we would know them by their fruit. Well, the fruit of these Kabbalah people, the Kabbalists, the doctrine of demons that they are all about, is about finding your own divinity and ascending yourself to the status of a mighty one, to be, in your eyes, equal with the Most High. Okay, and I can go out on a limb and say that if someone believes that they can ascend above or equal to the Most High, that is a very dangerous mindset, a very dangerous ideology that would cause you to die, right? This earth that we're living in was made by the Most High Yahweh, okay? And He is the creator of everything. We are just babies in this existence. Our knowledge of creation is so small compared to His. His ways are above ours, and to try and live by our own will and to think that we can be equal to him is futile and would cause us to perish. We are to follow his will, his instructions. And he says that his instructions, his Torah, is for our own good, for health. And that if we do so, we shall live. But if we dabble with things like this here, and we think that we can reach a level of divinity that is equal to the Most High, that will lead us down a road of death and destruction. And the reason I think this is important to understand right now is because the tree of life, the Kabbalah tree, is associated with chakras. And I've seen a lot of my mishpachah talking about their chakras and their energies and their auras and stuff like that, like stuff that sounds new agey. And I'm sure that some of those people that do so, they see it as harmless. Well, the Most High told Adam and Eve, do not even touch it lest you die. If you get to thinking that you can change your diet or different things about yourself to elevate your level of chakras or whatever that doctrine talks about, you are playing with fire, and that is something that will kill you, and it is something that the Most High hates. Look what it did to Adam and Eve, and it's still here. And I found a video where it's talking about how the ancient Egyptians used that doctrine. And right here, it's called Mystery Teachings of Ancient Egypt, and it's talking about the Kabbalah tree. But there's a part right here that I want some people that I know that's still full with this symbol that can be found in the Kabbalah tree, and it's associated with the ancient school of mysticism, and I need them to watch just a little snippet of this video, if you will. Okay.
The lantern he holds in front of him illuminates his path and conquering the shadows that keep us bound to the material plane. A soul conquers these shadows of his dark, unconscious nature by having an understanding of himself, and this is done through knowledge seeking and wisdom. Ecclesiastes 7:12, for wisdom is a defense, and money is a defense, but the excellency of knowledge is that wisdom giveth life to them that have it. Proverbs 4:7, wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. The lantern he holds in front of him illuminates his path, and it is symbolic also for the illumination within his own heart. For we see that within the lantern there is a 6-pointed star representing the hexagram. And as we have seen in the previous videos, the hexagram is symbolic for the upper and lower forces meeting at the ethereal heart. We can see the star also aligns with the hermit's heart, and his hand is held above, aligned with the third eye. For as we now know, the truth of ourselves will be revealed to us through the heart and mind working in harmony. So now let us see where the hermit card is connected on the golden mean section. And we see that this is at the number 34. As previously mentioned, this equates to both the sacrum and root chakra on the ancient Egyptian number key. And when we deduce 34, we get 7. So now we have a symbolic connection to the 7 gates that the hermit must traverse to be crowned at the 7th gate as the Divine Trinity. These gates are also known as the seven heavens, and this is found in many major traditions and mythologies, such as Islam, Judaism, Hinduism, and Christianity, as well as in Hermeticism and Gnosticism. And in Abrahamic religions, the throne of God is said to be above the seventh heaven, and this again equates with the crown chakra and Ketha on the Kabbalah tree of life. In the Quran, it states, "See you not how Allah has created the seven heavens, one above the other, and made the moon a light in their midst, and made the sun a lamp?" This verse is relating to the seven inner gates to God, and also symbolically represents the male and female twin souls in the sun and the moon. The Hindu tradition also has the concept of seven heavens, and the seventh heaven is known as Brahmapura, and it is said to be the abode of the god Brahma. The seven gates are not just representing the ascent back to the divine within us, but also the seven primary energetic points of the ethereal body.
Teaches, and how the hexagram, which a lot of people I know call the Star of David, and I've stressed this before about the Star of David that people wear. My mom wears a necklace with that, and she has the Jewish flag on her wall that has the Star of David on it. And her congregation, which is a Messianic Hebrew roots congregation, assembly, and they feel that there's nothing wrong with that, with the Star of David. They refuse the idea that it is actually the Star of Molech, when in fact it is the Star of Molech. And what it represents is the male and female, as above, so below. Let's hear this lady here, what she says.
Representing the hexagram. And as we have seen in the previous videos, the hexagram is symbolic for the upper and lower forces meeting at the ethereal heart. We can see the star also aligns with the hermit's heart, and his hand is held above, aligned with the third eye. For as we now know, the truth of ourselves will be revealed to us through the heart and mind work.
Yeah, enough of that. So, we know that the Bible has warned us about ancient Babylon. We know what's going to happen to our Mystery Babylon, We know what's going to happen to Mystery Babylon. And for those that still want to rationalize wearing the Star of Molech and claim that it is the Star of David, I have to wonder and guess and try to, it really makes me wonder about your faith if you're doing so. Because even in the Ten Commandments, it tells us to not have any graven image of anything in the heaven or in the earth or the sea. And we know that that paganry is all about worshiping the creation of the Most High. So right there, having a star around your neck is something that the Most High has rebuked and told us, commanded us not to ever do, okay? And that star that you have around your neck, it's called a hexagram. A six-pointed star formed by extending each of these sides of a regular hexagon into equilateral triangles, okay? Somewhere in here it talked about, right here, a six-pointed star, also known as the Star of David, used in magic, especially black magic, representing the balance between masculine and feminine, okay? How many of y'all have seen Donald Trump's office in Trump Tower, where he has the Kabbalah tree on the wall behind him, where he sits at his desk, okay? He is a known Zionist, a known member of the Irish Rite of Freemasonry, okay? We know about his face being on the shekel and the temple construction that is associated with him. Somewhere in the Kabbalah, I think that lady, let's see if we can find that lady that was just talking in the video, she mentions the number 88. Let's see if we
can in harmony. So now let us see where the Hermit card is connected on the golden mean section. And we see that this is at the number 34. As previously mentioned, this equates to both the sacrum and root chakra on the ancient Egyptian number key. And when we deduce 34, we get 7. So now we have a symbolic connection to the 7 gates that the Hermit must traverse to be crowned at the 7th gate as the Divine Trinity. These gates are also known as the 7 heavens, and this is found in many major traditions and mythology tree of life. In the Quran, it states, "See you not how Allah has created the 7 heavens, one above the other, and made the moon a light, and shall not be able." However, let us look again at the number 34. It is obvious our ancient ancestors knew the importance of this number, and 34 had a significant role in their astronomical calculations. In the prehistoric temples of Chaco Canyon in New Mexico, one of the most famous of these temples is the Casa, related to the crown chakra at the top gate, and 34 to the root chakra at the bottom gate. And Dante had strong connections within the religious institutions, especially Pope Boniface. So therefore, it is not hard to imagine he had access to secret knowledge. However, there are yet other numbers encoded within the number 9 Hermit card. For if we look at the Fibonacci sequence once again and add the sum of all the previous numbers to this point, we get the number 88. 88 is a very important number symbolically, for this is relating to the male and female twin souls. Each 8 is symbolic of the immortal soul that is to make the ascent through the 7 gates back to God and the divinity.
So, okay. The point I'm trying to make with people playing around with chakras and that sort of thing, it all has to do with the ascension, and it more than likely is the tree that the serpent beguiled Eve to eat the fruit of, because it made them aware of their self, and it caused them to believe that they could somehow be equal to the Most High, well, at least Eve. And if it was something that the serpent was soliciting to Eve, then it was something that he was wrapped up in, that he was associated with, right? And as far as Trump goes, he does have that Kabbalah tree on his wall. We know that he is a Zionist, and we know that the Freemasons, the Jesuits, the Zionists, all are Kabbalists. They all reference the Kabbalah tree, which they call the tree of life. And you've seen there that 88 is a very important number to them. And this is the Gematrinator. They live by gematria. In fact, the English language was designed around gematria, as was the Latin. You can see here in the most simplest of ciphers that Trump equals 88. And we know that I've talked about before that just like Yahusha said, that the day that at the end, around the end, it would be like the days of Noah, and that in these jabs they're using recombinant DNA, where they are fusing DNA from two different living organisms. We see the transgender agenda that's going on, and we see this alchemy that is happening, where they are wanting to combine, you know, us and technology like Neuralink that Elon Musk has created. And the jab is in fact the abomination of desolation, because it says that the dragon, the serpent, will set himself up in the temple of the Most High and declare himself as the Most High, or above the Most High. So 88 is the number of Trump. It is the number basically of duality, of masculine and feminine. And in Mar-a-Lago, Trump's club, you'll see that it has 88 sleeping rooms. Trump, in the most simplest of ciphers, equals 88. Oh, I had this a few minutes ago. Now, if you look it up, there's 88 rooms, sleeping rooms, in Mar-a-Lago. Let's see, what's this say? 88 bottles of wine. If you go to rent a room there, they start out at $88. Look at all these 88s. Florida District 88 representative, the 88-page document list, 1988. Look, guys, if you're still supporting Trump or any of these puppets that are pushing this right-left paradigm, you're being hoodwinked. The only one that you should be clinging to is the Most High, Abba Yahweh. If you are wearing a hexagram, a six-pointed star, that is in fact the star of Molech, and you are justifying it because the Jews, the rabbis, claim that that is the Star of David, you're wrong. And by you doing so causes me to wonder if your faith is actually genuine. And whether or not you are indeed set apart unto Yahuwah, and you are wheat, and you will be harvested. Put down your idols, and understand that if you are dabbling with your chakras, with that idea of your chakras and your aura and all that sort of stuff, you could very well be touching the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that got Adam and Eve cast out of the garden and brought about the curse of death to humanity, and that could very well lead to your own death. I love y'all, Mishpachah. Look into it, do your own research, and like, share, subscribe. D's out.